Welcome back to the C Block, or final section of Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I'm Alaina Pinto. Earlier in the show, we told you we were announcing our new free app called PCM TV in the App Store and Google Play. And over the next few months, we are bringing back a promotional contest that we conducted back in 2020 when shows like Cannabis Chat, The Green Rush, Calling All Growers, and Weed Talk Live filled up the 24 hours a day. 7 days of content pro-cannabis media produced as a way to survive the pandemic. We call this promotion Come Out of the Cannabis Closet and Tell Us Your Cannabis Story. What role has the plant medicine played in your life? You can now go to our website, procannabismedia.com, and on the homepage, there is now a section right below the most current news show where you can submit your own cannabis story. We want to hear it. Every month, we will review the entries and pick 4 finalists, and then our subscribers will get to pick the winner, who will receive a great prize, plus be featured on our Cannabis Coast to Coast news, if you'd like. For the past few months, though, Tina Tasaka has been covering the evolving scene in Nevada with a base in Las Vegas, okay? Now she'll be adding coverage of the emerging markets coming out of the sovereign reservations of indigenous people who are native to this continent. Here's Tina.
I'm Tina Tasaka with 420 Technologies, and this is the Nevada and Tribal Nations Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. This is the new format as we are doing some rebranding, and I've added Tribal Nations to my news report. On Tuesday, the Indigenous Cannabis Industry Association, ICIA, and Wisconsin Tribal Task Force on Cannabis launched the Wisconsin Wellness Campaign, advocating for the legalization of medical cannabis in Wisconsin. Currently, Wisconsin is the only state in the upper Midwest without legal cannabis, creating high demand for out-of-state marijuana. Michael Decora of the Tribal Task Force highlighted the lack of a state bill and the criminal risks citizens face to obtain needed medicine. Health advocates, including the Ho-Chunk representative Kristen White Eagle, shared personal stories underscoring the benefits of medical marijuana, while research on its effectiveness for PTSD remains mixed. Many veterans report positive effects. The Ho-Chunk Nation has decriminalized marijuana on tribal lands, though federal regulations still pose challenges. Rob Pirro of the ICIA emphasized the need for regulated access to medical cannabis, avoiding criminalization. Cannabis advocates like Josh and Megan Lowe also support legalization, citing its benefits for their daughter's seizure control. Senator Melissa Agard supports the initiative, noting that legalizing and taxing cannabis could generate significant revenue and improve public safety, echoing successful examples from neighboring states like Illinois and Michigan. And in Nevada, is the summer musical festival season over? Absolutely not. Mark your calendars for the 6th annual Nevada Cannabis Awards Music Festival, happening September 28th from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. in downtown Las Vegas. This star-studded event will celebrate and reward the best in cannabis industry, with a special focus on those who have made a significant impact in the Las Vegas cannabis community. Tickets can be procured at getallacessusa.com, and VIP tables and packages are available. That's it for the Nevada highlights and Tribal Nations. I'm Tina Tasaka with 420 Technologies and Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
A little bit of NCAA sports history was made this week when one of the most well-known brands in cannabis and CBD, Cookies, signed on as a sponsor of the University of Southern California's athletic teams. Rapper Burner is the co-founder and CEO of the wellness brand of products, and that ad age has called one of America's hottest brands. Of course, with the definition of what is legal or not legal, CBD or not CBD, tested or not tested, the timing is very interesting in the Golden State, considering the ambiguities of the 2018 Farm Bill and now their governor, Gavin Newsom, trying to ban all these products. The sponsorship is supposed to be a multi-year deal, but neither side is sharing the size of the financial commitment. In the meantime, merger and acquisition continues inside the cannabis industry as many businesses are failing and looking to cut their losses. That is true in Arizona, where Karen Black reports on a company that is looking to move in on some of the cannabis distressed assets. Whoa, some of the cannabis distressed assets in Florida. Here she is.
I'm Karen Black from Greenfinger Consulting with the Arizona Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. Arizona's Mint Cannabis has partnered with Shango from California to purchase the Cannabis Coast 14 medical dispensaries in Florida for $5 million under NewCo Mint Shango JV. The deal also includes the licenses as well as cultivation and manufacturing operations in Alachua and Arcadia. The Phoenix New-Times published a lengthy piece about the Arizona Dispensaries Association, ADA, and how it has emerged as a powerful lobbying force here in the Grand Canyon state. It represents major cannabis companies and has been influencing legislation and market dynamics since adult use was legalized in 2020. According to the article, the ADA's influence has led to increased market consolidation, with the top 10 dispensaries controlling about half the market by 2022. That means smaller cultivators often pay substantial monthly fees to dispensaries just to operate. The ADA has actively opposed various reform bills, including measures for interstate commerce and stricter product testing regulations. They've also sought to maintain control over related markets, such as hemp-derived products. Critics argue that the ADA's actions prioritize the interests of large corporations over small businesses and consumers. The organization has made significant political donations to both major parties, seemingly to maintain its influence. This situation has raised concerns about the future of Arizona's cannabis industry, with some calling for more balanced representation and reforms to benefit smaller businesses and consumers. Speaking of lobbying, the Arizona chapter of NORML held its monthly meeting September 3rd at the cannabis-friendly Clarendon Hotel in Phoenix. In other news, Gateway Community College announced it has partnered with cannabis education company Green Flower to offer non-credit cannabis certification programs. Courses range from 9 weeks to 6 months. They're all online, and they cover areas such as horticulture, extraction, product development, and retailing. And finally, Trulieve is in the Arizona news for a couple reasons. It has relocated one of its dispensaries in Tucson and would be holding a grand opening September 13th for the Menlo Park location. It is also the exclusive outlet for Grun's 10-pack mega medical edibles. That's this week's Arizona Report. I'm Karen Black from Greenfinger Consulting, reporting for Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
Since the state of New York opened its adult use legal sales of cannabis, the Office of Cannabis Management has taken quite a bit of heat from the governor and their state legislature. Now they've decided to put even more regulations on their growers. In this case, it's good for the environment. Okay, something the industry has been ignoring compared to their focus on profits. New York is telling its farmers that starting in 2025, they will have to start tracking their energy consumption. The software is called PowerScope, and the idea is to reduce the environmental footprint both for the medical and adult use operations. There's only one 100% solar-powered grow facility in the United States, and it's Solar Therapeutics in Somerset, Massachusetts. And that's where their dispensary and a 67,000 square foot grow house operates. Considering that 10% of the entire state's electrical grid is taken up by the grow industry in this state, going solar should become more of a priority in the industry and not just an exception. In Massachusetts, a local brand called Fernway has placed containers for recycling their disposable vapes in a variety of dispensaries where their products are sold. As the industry matures, some in the industry are starting to take notice of their environment, not just their bottom line. This practice has been going on in Humboldt County, California for generations, where the conditions are perfect for growing outdoors. Canada has a few solar-powered grow houses in Western Canada, but the majority of the indoor growing cultivation is still driven by traditional power.
This is Debi Facey with your Canadian Cannabis Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. So what we have in Canada was two main stories. Our first story was almost like an op-ed where a gentleman was speaking about the failure that the cannabis industry here in Canada unfortunately has been going through. And this is something that I can relate with and definitely do agree with in some aspects, especially when it comes to the potency of the cannabis that we are selling today, which is much higher than what most of us are used to, and the amount of people that are actually visiting the hospital. And this isn't only due to cannabis, but with the rise in the usage of of drugs, I should say, overall, cannabis has been looped into that, I want to say, bracket. And that's unfortunate due to the fact that for us as Canadians, we did promise the not only accountability, but the safety when it came to our consumers when we were going to be legalizing. That being said, we all know that economically that we had projected tax revenues and they'd fallen short, and many businesses are struggling today. And we continue to highlight the approach of health, safety, and the industry sustainability, and that is something that I hope we continue to promise. For our next story is the awesome, sadly say, Tokyo Smoke closing 29 of their locations in Canada due to a restructuring, rebranding, realizing that maybe they kind of pushed too, I want to say, much in the beginning when it came to opening up stores, but everyone learns that, and you can't blame anyone for that because everyone thinks proximity is something that they don't take into consideration, which is fine. But being said, this is Debi Facey with your Canadian Cannabis Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. Peace.
I'm Doug Miller from High on Wall Street with this week's Cannabis Stock Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast. Ascend Wellness Holdings announced leadership changes. John Hartman will no longer serve as CEO, and the CFO has been terminated immediately. The board of directors has appointed Samuel Brill, current director, as CEO. The co-founder and current director has been appointed as president, and the chief accounting officer has been appointed as the new CFO. So let's see how all these changes affect the stock chart. It's trading around 92 cents and it's pulling back. So watch for that bottom and for it to reverse back up, and trade smart and always lock in these profits because this market is a little rocky and crazy right now. And that's this week's Cannabis Stock Report. Reporting for Cannabis Coast to Coast, I'm Doug Miller.
This weekend, NECANN ran its annual trade show in New Jersey in Atlantic City, and now with New Jersey's cannabis market growing in size, so is the NECANN show as they expand outside of New England. Jill Goldsberry is from New Jersey, and she made the rounds at the trade show this weekend and even ran into a local Massachusetts legend, Devin Alexander from Rolling Relief, one of the most successful delivery services on the East Coast. Devin's personal story should be shared with all emerging states. 12 years ago, he was arrested in the Bay State for possession, and now he's running a successful business thanks to the opportunity that social equity offered him. Here's Jill's interview with Devin from the floor of NECANN.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jill from New Jersey's Coast to Coast News with PCM TV. I am here at the Wake and Bake for Butter Cake, and we got a special guest here from out of town, from Boston. Can you believe it? We are here with Devin from Born to Roll Delivery Service. What's up, Devin? How you doing?
Not too bad. It's good to be down here in Jersey for the first time ever.
I mean, do you guys love his accent? I mean, it's great. So, what are you doing here in Jersey?
Just came down to support some homies. My man Tahir Johnson, the homegirl Matha, Nadir, see Hope Wiseman speak, James Jackson with your, just all those speaks. I don't got any business things going on. I'm just here to show love.
Okay, awesome. And I would love to know, since you are here in New Jersey with us, and you guys have had the rollout in mass for a while.
Yeah.
What do you think of the New Jersey rollout?
I think it's great. I think it's going a lot more smoothly than it did over in Massachusetts. I think people are getting open faster for sure. And they have the opportunity to learn from our mistakes. And I think that's vital.
But you guys have really good product up there, and it's a lot cheaper than over here. So, I'm wondering, I hope at some point the situation changes and we can maybe, match. Because I know a lot of people go to Boston just to, stack up. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it's only a matter of time. The market will definitely correct itself. Once you start to see more individual craft growers come online here in New Jersey, it's definitely going to change the game, 100%. And that's how it was with us. It just took some time, right? Yeah. But that's the biggest part of the process, right? Getting licensed. It's very capital intensive, building out your facility, going through all the steps, jumping through all the hoops. Yeah. But I'd say 2 years from now, you guys should be popping. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And I know you were one of the first minority business owners in Boston to have a delivery service. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. So we're actually in a city called Newton. It's 10 miles west of Boston. So we were the first Black-owned, first social equity, first delivery service. When it came to getting our license, we were number 6 in the whole state.
Wow.
So very exciting. We've been operational for a year and a half now. Last year in August was our best month ever. So I'm just trying to grow, get better month over month.
I just met a couple of business owners here that started a delivery service in Jersey. So any advice?
Focus on your SEO. SEO is everything. Search engine optimization, programmatic ads. If you're doing interviews with any media outlets, make sure they're including hyperlinks when they name your company. Definitely when they say the name of the company, include a hyperlink so people can click on it and go right to your website. That's very vital for sure.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Devin. So you've got some good advice for anybody out there that wants to start a delivery service. You might want to take those tips. And I'm Jill from Coast to Coast News, New Jersey, and we're out.
And finally, tonight, we give the last word on the premiere of Cannabis Coast to Coast to the founder of Pro Cannabis Media Productions, Jimmy Young, who celebrated his 67th birthday this week. By coincidence, the 3rd annual THC Golf Open happened to be held on Tuesday the 3rd, which was his birthday. And the event was the idea of the CEO and founder of the Cannabis Creative Group, Seth Warby, who recruited Ann Brum from a joint venture to run the event with his group. Jimmy and his new business partner, Eric Williamson, managed to live stream to 9 social media platforms simultaneously, showing the capabilities of technology now that access has been eased. Here's Jimmy.
Thanks, Alaina. I was certainly flattered with the response of our news team, who took the time out and shared some of their birthday wishes with me. I appreciate that. And Eric Williamson, who allowed me to share some highlights of my 30-year sportscaster career on TV in New England. Anyway, Seth Warby and Ann Brum were the forces behind the event at the THC Open that was held at the Blissful Meadows Golf Course in Uxbridge, Massachusetts.
What people don't realize is how much work goes into an event like this. And logistically, that's just not my strength, Jimmy. So I'm an ideas guy, and this was my idea, but I need Ann to execute it, and she does it flawlessly. So it's fantastic.
First of all, congratulations. You've put on another great event. You must be excited.
Thank you. There's no I in team, so this took quite the team, but very, very grateful to be able to curate and have something like this here. Very excited.
It was a great day for golfers in the Massachusetts cannabis business community. And of course, as birthdays go, it was pretty cool to announce our new app, PCM TV, available to download at the App Store or Google Play. It's free. Plus, you talk about some of the other changes to our content production group, including the launch of Cannabis Coast to Coast News and a new logo, and our Tell Us Your Cannabis Story promotion, where you can earn yourself a feature on a future news show. And you could probably even pick up a few prizes along the way. We're still finalizing that. So everyone involved in this venture over the past few years, especially the correspondents who contribute to this show every week, I sincerely thank you all. And next year is going to be the best one yet. I'm PCM founder Jimmy Young.
That'll do it for the first edition of Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I'm Alaina Pinto. Remember, it's a whole new world of weed out there. Use it responsibly. We'll see you next time.
We are Pro Cannabis Media.